Welcome to the VHF UHF channel, and to talk about a little bit about the Icom IC R 8500, that big radio that you see here just underneath the Yaesu at the top. So this radio here has been part of my collection for 10 years at least. It's a radio I purchased in I believe somewhere in 2010, 2011. And it is one of the reasons that made me purchase the Icom IC R 8500 was its wideband capabilities, the VHF and UHF coverage up to 2 gigahertz. For me, that was something that I wanted. And I wanted also because it had all modes on these frequency ranges, so upper, lower, sideband, and so on. What do I think of its performance on VHF, UHF? I think it's a pretty darn good radio on that range. It's a little unequal, and I've seen reports of people saying that on certain frequency ranges it might be a little deaf. Personally, I haven't found really a lot of places where it's deaf, but where I do listen, and the VHF, UHF range, performance has always been quite good in general. What is nice is this is a communications receiver. I've talked in the past what makes a difference, what's the difference between a scanner radio and a communications receiver. And typically one of them is having all the modes and the frequency coverage also. It does scan, but it scans at a rather slow pace, so it's not necessarily the best scanner device that you might have, but if you do want to scan, it does, that's for sure. The main attraction for me was the fact that it actually is very immune to overload. And that is always something that you want to look at in a VHF, UHF receiver. I can honestly say of all the scanner radios and communications receivers that I have here, definitely this radio is amazing at, being pretty immune to overload, and that is great because you can put a outdoor antenna on this thing and not really be afraid that it's going to overload somewhere. It actually is very good for that, and I like that feature particularly because it makes DXing VHF UHF quite easy. A lot of the listening I do on it, of course, apart from regular VHF UHF range listening, is also the satellites, amateur satellites, which is a pleasure to tune on this radio. And you might have seen a few videos where I use actually computer control also to have this working. And this is another great feature that is fun to play with on the radio, tracking satellites and having the Doppler shift actually automatically set and controlled by a computer is always very, very cool. But overall, the Icom IC R 8500 above 30 megahertz is a pleasant receiver. It's a pleasant desktop receiver to use. This is, like I said, the export version has no cutouts in the frequency range, so that's also a plus, even though there's not really anything much right now in there. But overall, pretty good and pretty decent. It is an old school analog PLL-driven radio, so basically this does not decode D-Star or anything like that. It's really a down-to-earth receiver with AM, FM, and single sideband modes, basically. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Thank you for watching.